What is up, y'all? Odeed here once again, and today I'm going to be reviewing Jealous Devil Lump Charcoal. So this is a 20-pound bag. I grabbed it off of Amazon for $35 with free delivery. So let's go outside, get it into a chimney, and we'll see how it lights up, we'll see how it burns, we'll see how it smells, and then ultimately we'll see how it cooks in my Weber Smoky Mountain. All right, so I'm about to get this fired up, but I wanted to show you guys kind of what it looks like here in the chimney. When I poured it out, it was very nice and uniform. I like uniformity in my lump charcoal because that way it burns nice and even. And if you have bigger pieces, sometimes they take longer to kind of light, and then you will get temp drops. And if you have a lot of smaller pieces, you'll get temperature spikes. So anyways, with the uniformity, you'll probably get a nice even cook, which is something that I like. So yeah, let's go ahead and fire it up, see what it smells like and how it burns. All right, this stuff is about halfway lit in the chimney now, and I actually gotta say, it doesn't produce a lot of smoke, which is actually what I like. When you're using lump charcoal and you're just gonna cook, you know, like a really hot and fast cook, you're gonna use all lit charcoal, so whether it smokes or not is not really a big issue. But if you're gonna do an extended cook and you're doing something like the Mignard method, you don't want this charcoal catching fire, smoldering, and then smoking a lot, as that charcoal smoke will end up on your meat and you'll get kind of a bitter taste in your meat. Yeah, smoke wise, this doesn't smoke very much at all. I really like that. It's not popping or crackling or anything like that. And then it's also taking a while to light, which means it's very dense, and dense is good because, again, when you're doing longer cooks, it will take longer for the charcoal to burn down and you get more bang for your buck. So anyways, once this is about 3/4 of the way lit, I'm gonna dump it into the WSM along with a little bit of unlit charcoal and some red oak, and we're gonna basically reverse sear a tri-tip on it just to see kind of what flavor profile this brings to the meat. All right, so this is how I have the bottom of the WSM set up. I have some red oak wood chunks in there and some unlit Jealous Devil charcoal as well, and as you can see, this is fairly uniform charcoal, again, as I said, and I really like that, as you'll get a much more even cook. And I do have this unlit charcoal in here, kind of like doing the Mignard method style. I'm going to cook for about an hour, but I don't know how long that initial chimney full of charcoal is going to burn, so I put a little extra in here just in case. Also, it's worth mentioning that I am going to cook this tri-tip without the water pan in the Weber Smoky Mountain and kind of do this almost like a Santa Maria style, where you're over the direct coals but far enough away from the coals that you're not hot or high heat grilling. It's more of like a direct indirect grilling, as I call it. And then at the very end, I will take the center part of the Weber Smoky Mountain out, put the grates on the bottom portion here of the Weber Smoky Mountain, and sear the tri-tip off. So anyways, let's go ahead and dump the coals in, and then we'll kind of like set the Weber Smoky Mountain up and see how much the charcoal smokes and how long it takes the unit to settle in. I also like to use this coffee can to try to like center the hot coals in the middle. Obviously wear gloves when you do that. All right, and for now, I'm gonna leave the bottom vents all the way open, probably until I reach about a dome temp of 200 degrees. Then I'm gonna back them all the way off to where they're just about 1/8 of an inch open, which will probably get me to around 250 to 275 on the dome. Once kind of that charcoal smoke settles in and isn't kind of billowing out of the top of the unit there, and then we'll put that tri-tip on and get to smoking. One thing I'd like to add, and I've said this in my videos before, is when you first put charcoal into the Weber Smoky Mountain, it's better to let it kind of settle in, because if you have unlit charcoal in there and you're using the Mignard method like I am, sometimes you'll get some charcoal smoke billowing out of the top of the vent there, and you really want that to calm down and let the charcoal settle in, and then you want the smoke from the wood chunks to be coming out of the top. That's when things are kind of ready, because if you put the meat on now and the charcoal hasn't settled in yet, you will get that charcoal smoke going across your meat, and then you will get charcoal flavored meat, and you don't really want that. But this thing will settle in about 20 or 30 minutes, somewhere around there. And then we'll get kind of like that nice thin smoke from the wood chunks, and then you can go ahead and put some meat on. All right, little information for you guys. I dumped that lit chimney full of charcoal into the Weber Smoky Mountain, put it all together, and let the temperature climb up, and smoke never really started billowing out of the top vent. even when I closed the bottom vents down to about 1/8 open so I could stabilize the temperature. So normally with most charcoals, this usually happens for about 20 or 30 minutes and then things kind of stabilize out and then I can put my meat on. But yeah, this isn't really happening. I'm getting actually right now no smoke at all. And then eventually once the lit charcoal hits the wood chunks that I put in there, then of course I'll get wood chunk smoke, which is what I want, but I don't want charcoal smoke. Anyways, with that being said, it's only been about 5 minutes now since I closed up the vents, and probably about 10 minutes total since I put the charcoal in. And we're sitting, well, we're almost at 225. So I'm guessing here in about another 5 to 10 minutes, I'll just throw the meat on because I'm not really gonna have to wait for this thing to settle in or calm down. Now that could be because of the charcoal, I'm not really sure, but whatever it is, I'll take it. And yeah, and here in a second, we'll start cooking some meat. All right, we're about 20 minutes in now and still no billowing charcoal smoke coming out the top vent, which I'm really pleased about. This stuff lit up really nice. Seems like it's nice and dense, and it brought up the temperature actually pretty quickly. So I'm really happy with it so far. Let's go ahead and put some meat on. Again, I'm gonna throw a tri-tip on, probably flip it about every 15 minutes. And then in about 30 to 45 minutes, I'll probably start checking its temperature. I'm looking for an internal temp of about 130. Then as I mentioned, I'll take this middle section here out and directly sear the meat down there by the coals. All right, we'll be back to flip that in 15 minutes, but like I said, so far I'm digging the Jealous Devil charcoal. All right, cooking time on this has been about 45 minutes. I actually cracked open the vents a little bit more on the bottom to about 1/4 of a way open just so I could get the temp up a little bit. And I think this is ready to go. Internal temp on this is about 130, so we're gonna go ahead and take this middle piece of the Weber Smoky Mountain out and then put the grate directly down next to the coals down there and sear this off. Speaking of the coals, let's check down there and see how much of the coals we actually burned through. So yeah, looking at this, we hardly used any of that charcoal at all. In fact, to be perfectly honest, I probably did not need to put that extra charcoal in there at all. I bet we used maybe half of that chimney in an hour. So yeah, this stuff burns very, very efficiently. So with that being said, let's go ahead and sear this tri-tip up. That's how you make a little mini kettle. All right, y'all, tri-tip is done. I'd say the first 15 minutes I cooked it at 200. The rest of the cook was probably between 250, 275, probably closer to 275 the last 15 minutes. Then we seared it, took it off, let it rest for 15 minutes. Let's see how it tastes. Because really at the end of the day, even if the charcoal performs very well, if the meat doesn't taste good, then it doesn't really matter. So as with tri-tip, in case you don't know, it runs two ways, the grain anyways. So there's a grain running this way, and then the grain runs this way, so we're gonna cut it right here, right down the middle. Check out the inside of it, nice and medium rare. All right, check it out. Looks very, very nice. Nice, tender looking, juicy. Pulls apart nice. Let's see how it tastes. All right, the moment of truth. That is very good, very nice. The charcoal basically did its job. So yeah, it's got a nice sear. Tastes really, really, really good. This is amazing. Let me give you my final thoughts on the Jealous Devil lump charcoal. All right, so let me give you guys my final thoughts on the Jealous Devil charcoal. First thing I will say is it is a little pricey at $35 for 20 pounds. Now I have noticed that during this pandemic time that charcoal does seem a little more expensive. So maybe it's not normally that pricey, I'm not really sure. But yeah, 35 bucks for 20 pounds is quite a bit. But I can also get it delivered to my door, so that's kind of nice. I will also say that it is high quality charcoal, so you are getting your money's worth. It burns really long, it burns very clean. The pieces themselves are very uniform, and I honestly don't have anything negative to say about it at all. One thing I will definitely point out is for me, this is going to be smoking or barbecuing charcoal and not grilling charcoal. What I mean by that is I'm gonna use it on longer cooks. Number one, because it's expensive, and number two, because it is dense and it burns for a very long time, and it actually burns a little cooler than most lump charcoal. So this is something I'm probably gonna use for ribs, pork butt, briskets like that. In fact, you could probably fill up the charcoal ring on the Weber Smoky Mountain and do like an overnight cook and do like a brisket or a pork butt and not even have to worry about it, which is very nice. But yeah, as far as grilling, like if I'm gonna make a steak or something to that effect, like some hamburgers or something, I'm probably not gonna use the Jealous Devil. just because of the density of it and because of the price of it. So overall, good stuff. I'll use it again. I'll probably even buy it again, especially right now, because then, I mean, if I can order it on Amazon, I don't have to go anywhere. That's really nice. And again, for any kind of like barbecuing, long extended cooks, this is gonna be my go-to stuff for right now. So thank you very much guys for watching. I appreciate it. My name is Odeed, AKA Big Jake, and I'm out. Peace.